You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa! What up, mi gente? It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. And today, folks, we're going to introduce you to an amazing independent publishing label. Right now, I have like the heads right here. They form a union, talk about like Power Rangers or like Voltron and whatnot. They're out there. They're all independent creators, kicking ass, not taking names, creating awesome stuff for us to just eat up, especially not for the holidays. Let me tell you, I'm going to show you some stuff that are perfect stocking stuffers for the nerd and geek in your life, all right? So, let's bring up this amazing squad, all right? Let me bring up I'm going to do this by order of appearance in the green room. First up, one and only Mr. John Anderson.
Yay! Hello, I'm here. Yay. Good to see you, Al. Good to meet you. Thank you for inviting us.
No doubt, yo. We're gonna do it up. We're gonna invite your next team member over here, Mr. Martin Simpson. Hey, what's poppin'?
Hello.
and the next guest, I will say, please ignore the black spot. That's the first thing he said when he came on. So take that, for what it is, Mr. Mark Stafford.
Woo!
Fellas, how you doing?
Hello. Whoa.
Yeah. Yo. A black spot. I thought it was a bullet hole.
It's aiming. It's all I can look at. It's all I can see. I'm getting a full Kennedy now. Yeah.
All right, so let's just hypnotize people. This is the way we do it. If you really want to press, we got to leave it like this, and everybody could just see the spot and stay hypnotized looking at Mark. How about that?
I just say, I can't look away. Well, just eat. You can't look away from it.
All right, so gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I can't wait to talk about this amazing independent press label that you have with Soaring Penguin Press.
Yes. Golly, where to begin? We really started in 2010.
2010. Wait a minute. You jumping? We're going too far into your origin. We started in 2010. Yeah. What did you have this morning? Actually, this is what we do. A little bit about yourself. Give me a bit of your background. And, I like to know people's background and their geekdom. So where you originally from? What was your first love in fandom? Who presented to you? Was it mommy, daddy? You know what I mean?
Oh, blimey. Okay. Where am I from? Originally from London, Ontario, Canada. Moved to the UK in 1992 with my wife. And we sort of fell into the comic scene there. I've been reading comics since I was, 15, when my next door neighbor gave me a beer box full of comic books and said, I'm getting rid of these. Do you want them? Yeah, remember when in Canada, the stubbies, the 2-4s used to come in a box of beer. You kept the box, and you just had it full of comic books. He gave them to me, and that was that. So,
what was the first one you fell in love with? What did you pick up first?
Probably Avengers. I think it was the Neil Adams, the Avengers, running up to issue 100. Golly, the one with Vision, with Ant-Man going into Vision's body to make repairs. So that blew my mind. Some amazing stuff going on in there. And also X-Men. A lot of the Neil Adams X-Men were in that box as well. So this is the dog's dangly bits. And then when I got to Britain, I met all these terrific creators, and I thought I must become a publisher. And here I am.
All right. Oh, excellent. So we'll get to once that point came. So let's go with Spot Stafford over here. I'm sorry, I'm having fun with this dot because it's true. It's hypnotizing. What is going on here?
Once you notice it, it's not going to stop being noticed. Yeah. Hello, I'm Mark Stafford. I'm a cartoonist. I grew up in Dorset, Bournemouth near Dorset, the south coast of Britain. Always grew up in a house that was full of like cartoons and comic books and stuff like that. We were kind of encouraged to be creative as kids, me and my two sisters. I did like a foundation course in art, and then I moved up to London when I was about 20 years old to do a graphic design course, which I dropped out of because I discovered I hated graphic design. But then hovered menacingly in London for 20 odd years, just being kind of part of the small press scene or something, but then properly became kind of employable at some point in the year 2000 when I did a book with Brian Talbot called Cherubs, which ended up Dartpool, and I've some other stuff with Self-Made Hero in this country with David Hine.
Okay.
And that's kind of my main
out.
Yeah.
I need the broom. He's dropping these names. Legends. Wonderful. Check that out. What is it with this scene out there in London? Every time I talk to someone in London, it's like you guys have this community you guys have this magic pub somewhere where everybody just meets and you meet these big names. Like, what is going on? I wish that existed here.
It pretty much is exactly like that. Last Thursday, I was there. There's a pub, and it's called the Royal George, and I walked into it, and half of comics was there.
Oh, man. Crazy.
Oh,
you
man.
see what I'm saying?
I'm jealous.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in New York, you know, I meet other type of people but not comic people. That's very far and few in between. Only at Comic Con. Which is why I had a good time. Finally got to talk comics with people at a party. It was fun.
Yeah,
it's nothing better than talking some geeky shit while you're drunk. It's like, wow, it just explodes the imagination even more.
Absolutely.
Love it. All right, cool. Hey, what about you, Martin? What's popping? Your little origin story. Where you from and your first taste?
Oh, well, where I'm from a place called Yorkshire in England, in the north of England. We're all very rugged up there, and we're all bald. We're not all bald. Well, I was introduced to comics by my uncle, actually, my mum's brother, my Uncle Howard.
Shout out Uncle Howard.
Shout out Uncle Howard. He's still is a massive comic book collector. And it would have been the late 80s when I was first introduced to comics. So my first comics were like really great. They were like Batman Year One, it was Watchmen, it was Dark Knight, Returns. It was that year. It was sort of like
the British invasion year. Then no wonder.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of.
It felt like home. You're like, oh, okay, this feels like something they would do out here.
That's right. Yeah, the kind of the UK invasion, wasn't it? That happened when Alan Moore and Gibbons went over and everything. Yeah, I didn't realize that at the time when I was like 10, 11, 12. I just assumed they were all American. I assumed Alan Moore was American and Brian Bolland was American. I didn't know what was going on there. But yeah, that reading such amazing comics so early on, that was it. That was it for me.
Nice.
Yeah, but I don't know. I sort of fell more into doing illustration. I sort of went down that route. For the longest time, I thought, I don't think I can do comics for some reason. And so ended up.
What is this? All right, so let's start getting into that next question. So, growing up, all of you have that bite to be creative early on, and so was it nurtured at home? So that I'll go with you, Martin, since you're already kind of going with that flow.
Yeah, it was by me. Yeah, my mother is a really great artist herself as well. She's a great painter, drawer.
Ooh.
And so when I started to show those signs as well, yeah, she always encouraged me. I mean, she doesn't understand comics. She doesn't understand the world of comics. She didn't
Not
really
that
know,
form of art.
Yeah, she was like, okay, go on then, and I think that might be why I started heading more towards being an illustrator, which really is still my day job, really. I've worked freelance in that way.
See, don't feel bad, because that's how I feel about how George Perez is treated in the Puerto Rican community. For me, he's one of the greatest Puerto Rican comic book artists that ever existed, but in Puerto Rico, they do not look at art like that, comic book art in that fashion. Like it's, it's fun. No, it's like, damn, dude, this is like he was one of the best. They don't even honor him. I feel horrible, man.
Yeah,
horrible.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you gotta honor people like you guys, man, that are doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Appreciate you. But I do this. Want to hear these stories. So, all right. So, backwards. What about you, Mark? Did you have encouragement in your creative ventures?
Yeah, my lived in a kind of hippie-ish household where my mum kind of made her own bread and made her own wine, and drawing and creating
wine
was kind of encouraged.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, like Martin, it was this thing of she didn't necessarily understand comics. She understood cartoons as they appeared in like newspapers and magazines and stuff. And I was really touched when later on in life she actually read one of my graphic novels, and like I said, I actually read this from like page, and I was astonished because like nobody in my family ever. I'll give the books away as gifts, and they'll go, "Oh, this is great," and you can tell it's going to go on a shelf completely unspined, completely unbroken. And whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
Which one did she read?
Which one? The Man Who Laughs.
Oh, okay.
A classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a classic.
Based on literature, so
yeah.
So she picked a good one amongst your collection, huh?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, she picked the socially acceptable one.
The safe one. No, but that's great because I know no matter what, even if we're old like this, we always while our parents are here, we would like to hear that validation that they acknowledge what we do and at least show us some like, okay, do good, you're doing good, whatever.
Yeah.
Be honest though. No, don't be mean. What about you, John? Nobody was mean to you, right?
Yeah, nobody was mean to me. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. I mean, I way back when I was writing, I had a children's book out in Canada. My parents were not.
How early was that? A children's book?
Children's book, 1992.
Okay, wow.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's long and tedious, and I'm entirely too sober for the rest of this conversation. But I mean, my parents sort of they were pleased for me, but they hadn't the foggiest idea what I was trying to do. It's fine. It's okay. Having all the collection of comic books down in the basement, and my dad was going, "Why do you keep all these stupid things?" They're, "Oh, yeah, but someday they might be worth something." "Oh, so you plan to sell them?" "No, never."
Yeah, my father said the same thing. These guys could have been good friends. My father said the same thing. Why do you want when I was younger? Because now he understands. Because I showed him proof.
Yeah, well, the way I reckon
then he goes,
paid for
"Well,
it,
I had that." Yeah, damn man, I had good stuff, guys.
So, as I say, it wasn't until I got to the UK and I was hanging out with all these creators, like down to that pub where all the UK comic creators hang out, right, except for Martin. Meeting all these guys, and just they were looking for a place to be published. And I thought, well, okay, I can do that.
Talk about this then. You move because your stories. I love how your stories. You're saying you kind of dropped off comics. You're in UK, right? You move, and you're just dipping into the scene. How this happened? It just trips on somebody's foot, and hey, I do comics. Oh, you too? Let's talk.
Yeah, well, yes. What it was is that I was in Luton, for God's sake, and there was one comic shop, and there was a guy there, Paul Rafferty, who became a very close friend, a mate. And we discovered there was a monthly gathering of the Comic Creators Guild. So we would come down from Luton and go to that and just see what the talk was and meet with all these other creators. And then from that, we discovered that there was a comic convention in UCAC. So we went to that, and it just sort of snowballed. And what I found was that back then there was just that one big UK comic convention, UCAC, and then all these editors from Marvel and DC would come over to see what see who they could see, because of course it was during the, as you say, the British invasion. And so these various comic companies were looking for the next big name, the next Neil Gaiman, the next Alan Moore, the next Grant Morrison. So they were coming over to evaluate portfolios. And what I was finding was a lot of these creators, all these guys who'd they'd have a story in an anthology, and they would like, here's my story in the anthology, but don't look at the rest of the anthology because it's rubbish. And I thought, well, I'm going to do something better than that. And I want to produce an anthology that is so that everybody be happy to be part of it. That you can look at any part of it, and it's all good stories. And that became the anthology title, Meanwhile. And then from there, just sort of snowballed over the ensuing years, and started publishing more and more titles because I thought, on or off the pot. I don't know what your audience is. Can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely. Swear all you want.
Sure, shit or get off the pot. So yes, I decided I would shit. So I started publishing graphic novels, started publishing comics. That was 2010. So I'm going year to year, just finding things that I like that I want to see in print because I think
how was that?
Like this too.
So how was that decision then when you decided to take it on and tackle something a lot bigger? How knowledgeable were you of the steps you were about to, really get into it? What was that learning curve like?
Oh, it's massive. It's like this. It's solid ice, and I have no cleats. But with every almost every day, I'm learning something more. I'm learning about printing. I'm learning about the pricing. I'm learning about marketing. And these two campaigns, 3 campaigns. There was a third one that just finished a couple of weeks ago. Running them at the same time, I'm learning a lot more about how to get the name out, how to process social media, and how to try to promote things. And that's been really, really helpful for me going forward.
Wonderful.
But I mean, just all the processional stuff, I guess, all the administrative stuff in terms of publishing. You get your distribution, you get the marketing, you get the printing, you get the different paper stocks, you get just everything, bloody everything.
Oh my gosh! But you're doing wonderful stuff. So that you guys, so that's what matters. So it shows in the work because you're talking about that campaigns. I gotta show something because you guys sent me 2 videos. Let's start showing just some stuff, and then
Okay.
I want to start getting into the bromance, and then all these dope creations here. All right. So let's start off, folks. Let's check out this one right here, the Martin Simpson Nord.
We would need a voiceover for this.
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
There's no music. Where's the music?
Yeah, it's supposed to have music, isn't it?
Yeah, there should be music.
Well, I uploaded it, so it should have the audio. But look at that. Oh man, who is that? We're gonna find out, folks.
I'll do a director's commentary. Nord by me. Yes, this is a Viking. He's dead, and he's on a mission to destroy death itself. And inspired by just my love of Nordic mythology, which I've loved since I was a kid. I basically took everything I liked about Nordic mythology, cherry-picked all the elements I enjoyed, and put it together into a sort of my own myth that was full of my own preoccupations and slight obsessions.
This is fire! Oh my God, look at this!
None of this is taking place in the real world. If you see what I mean, you're in sort of
okay.
You're in afterworlds, afterlife, so it's quite surreal. There's a lot of surreal.
I see. You could tell the skin and how everything looks crazy.
Yeah,
look at that.
Lot of
Even the skull's got wrinkles. That's really stress.
So yeah, that's a little trailer.
Your skull gets wrinkled like that. So Nord is short for Nordic, inspired of your love. Dude, how did you build this team for that? That's a gorgeous fucking book, bro. What? Or is it all you? What is it? What's popping? My gosh.
It's a mix. It's a mix. I mean, how I painted it.
Wow. That book looks so fire, dude.
Yes.
You like it?
You hear me, right?
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks, man. It's painted. I sort of, it starts out as acrylic ink paintings and then it's finished digitally. But sometimes it's more acrylic painting than it is digital painting. Sometimes it's almost all digital painting. It's sort of it depends really what images I'm making. So it's a bit of a mix, I don't like to go fully digital because you lose texture and you lose something when you go totally digital. Things look too smooth somehow or too I don't know. So I like to try and keep a bit of analogy stuff within the artwork, you know, like the little textures and the mistakes and the bumps and things. You need all that stuff in there, otherwise it becomes a bit dead, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Understood.
But I do like a wrinkle, Al. I do like things with wrinkles and you know.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's stress. I mean, even the skulls are stress, folks. Could you imagine battles that give skulls wrinkles? Like, oh my god, I can't win.
They've had a hard life. They've had a hard time.
Yeah, for real. All right, so Mark, you're gonna be up next, and just in case this one doesn't have audio, get ready. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, commentary, Mark. I need commentary. You better than I did.
Yeah, but he's good because his is 29 seconds. This is not that.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So check it out.
I barely have time to make them.
Has audio apparently.
Beautiful.
Dude, what in the world was that?
I didn't make that audio choice.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, the audio is funny, but the artwork looks fire too. Like very tattoo-ish type art. Love that style. Like I'm in love with that style.
Cheers.
Yeah. Yo, for real. What? See, look, folks, this is the press you guys gotta be on the lookout for right here. Don't sleep. Retailers don't sleep. No, I'll show you right here. Look, it's easy. So if you guys want to contact them, right there, go to that website. I'm pretty sure you have a contact us on this page, right? At Soaring Penguin Press.
Yes, you can send a message to me from there. Yeah, absolutely.
There you go, folks. So you're a retailer interested in those. You saw those videos. That's some self porn if I've ever seen it. All right. So yeah, it's beautiful books, guys.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So look at accentuate. What is this? I create and welcome opportunity. Look at this art. Look at this shading. Talk to me. What is this? I'm so digging it.
This is one. I mean, like Salmon and the Smorgasbord is a collection of all my shorter strips, bits of small press, lots of illustration, some design, at least one library mural, 2 folk songs. There's a lot of stuff in there. So Accentuate Positive, for example, was a 4-page story I did for a satirical magazine in which I took all the most horrible stories in the world and then had I basically got one of those positive messages calendars that you're supposed to bring a positive message every day and put it in the mouth of somebody in Rwanda about to be killed with machetes or whatever. Because there's 4 pages of that and it gets progressively more depressing. Chicken Killer's
a sick bastard.
Chicken Killer's just a little autobiographical thing. That's a 1-pager. You know. They're all different. They're all, I changed over time. I mean, the reason it's called Salmonella Smorgasbord is that I did an earlier small press comic that was called Botulism Banquet.
Oh, so, well, what's up with these names?
Hey, once you come up with a pattern, you got to go with it, you know. So, I'm not quite sure what the next one will be called, you know.
Like I still want to touch the book. I got this in digital, maybe. I feel I'll make it something. My gosh. Yeah, but look at the panel usage. This is the stuff I dig.
Yeah, cheers.
I dig this so.
That's that's a kind of kaiju thing I did for a magazine that Martin and his mates put out. Called Scroll.
Yeah. We love this. We love this. This is brilliant. This it's like a comedy kaiju. It's
where comedy kaiju. I mean, look at it. Look at the people on the train. I love it. Yeah. Look at this. I love that.
That's a small press little short story I did. There was actually part of an art show that was on the walls of the Institute of Contemporary Art on the Mall, which is as highfalutin as I think I ever got.
Oh shit! Second. Don't you worry, you're gonna get hired, kiddo. Don't you worry. Especially when they see that dot, they're gonna say, "What's wrong with this guy?" They're gonna be
internals like it's Jason Voorhees midlife crisis.
Oh shit! No one goes camping anymore, right?
He's getting worried about he's not doing enough cardio, and the kids these days just hearts aren't into it. And what's that music they're listening to? And
Wait, what is this EDM shit?
That is pretty much one of the panels.
I'm sure. I think a lot of it. Certain DJs do great jobs with it. But I could understand Jason, and I would believe that he would not be able to tolerate such music.
It was actually kind of a serious thing of like, you find yourself waking up or like hungover or whatever, and going, "Why am I doing this to myself again?" And then you're kind of thinking, Jason, like the endless movies where he does exactly the same thing, and then he gets killed, and then he comes back, and then he gets killed, and then he comes back. And I don't know. For some reason, my brain put the two things together. And,
I would say that pose there really does show that. Like, what the hell am I doing with my life? That is the perfect pose right there. Like, look at it. Like looking halfway into the store. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
That is Kankanji Blues. This is a thing I did with the British Council where I went. They sent me to Busan for 2 weeks, and I was supposed to collaborate with a singer-songwriter and come up with visuals for a video. And then after I flew out there, I discovered that he wasn't really into it. I didn't want to do it.
What?
And so I came up with a love story instead. And that's probably the longest thing in there, I think, at 20-something pages.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. I've got this because you did this as a little separate one shot.
Yeah.
This is like one of my favorite things you've ever done, Mark. It's beautiful. It's absolutely.
Look at this lady. I knew a lady like that in the hood for real back in the 80s. Seriously.
Yeah, there's this idea. There's this goddess of the island of Yeongdo in Busan. And she's horrible in that she expects if you go to the rock on the top, people leave her gifts of ginger wine and possibly cigarettes. I had a smoking.
Ginger shit. I would give her some weed just to calm down.
And there's but the rumor the kind of local legend is if you move away from the island, you do it at night and hope that she doesn't notice because otherwise you will suffer later. But
I mean, look, for real, man. I mean, we call those rolos in Spanish. I used to know a lady with the rolos like that in her hair all the time. That's funny. Holy shit, yo. This is still brings back flashbacks. Miss you, rest in peace. Did you come to Brooklyn? Because it was a lot like her. All right, so check this out. This is exactly what the New York trains feel like. Prehistoric times. You hit it on the head, kiddo.
Or in my case, a night bus going through Shoreditch. It's a piece I did. There was a tribute to Jack King Kirby at the Orbital Gallery in town, and this is my piece for it.
I know. I see that red devil right there with Moon Boy.
Yeah. It's it's a girl on the back of a terrible bus, but her head is full of Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur.
That is so fucking cool. Yeah. Great job honoring the king, my brother. Yeah. La Madre de Sangre.
That's a horror poster. It's a movie poster for a film that unfortunately doesn't exist.
Oh,
it was
man.
directed by Barbara, starring Barbara Steele, but it's.
No, you got to make it. John got to make this happen. Soaring Penguin is going to go even higher and start doing film. And you're going to do La Madre de Sangre.
Okay, my spare time.
Romantic evening.
A romantic evening at the cartoons. I'm a lot of the time I am cartoonist in residence, or was, or could be, at the Cartoon Museum in London, which is currently in Fitzrovia or Wells Street, just off Oxford Street in town. But we were going to have a night where it was just a bunch of cartoonists going to be talking about romance comics, and this was going to be the poster for it, and then COVID happened.
Of course.
And it didn't occur. But the poster's about so
well, that's
here it is.
Poster, man. Damn, man.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay. That's every man going to a toy store. The little kid inside just pops out, right?
It kind of speaks for itself. Yeah, it's just an image I just wanted to do. Great. Our internal people.
Yeah.
Either Rex on the outside or Rex on the inside, or that.
Too funny,
That I do.
Just tickle, man. And there you go. This is that dope book you got out right now, right?
Yeah, this is the current state of the cover.
Yes, yes. I do have to disavow you of one thing. This will not be out in time to be a stocking stuffer for this year. It's going to be printed. It'll be out early next year.
Oh, early next year when?
But
it'll be. God, when are we looking at this thing? May, I think. Of 2023. So it'll be a perfect stocking stuffer for next year.
No, not just for next year. Early next year. Listen, Valentine's and all. Over January birthdays, a late Christmas gift. It's bound to happen. So there you go, folks. You see that beautiful art. I mean, look at this cover. How could you? And then with a name like that, it just makes you be like, huh?
Sure. Huh? I saw this book and I thought of you, love.
Actually, you know what? My brother would love this. Love this. I saw him this and this artwork. He went, holy crap. This is the type of stuff he definitely buys. He would be a big fan.
Oh, that's a page from that's an old English folk song called "The Unquiet Grave." So it's a guy who laid on the grave of his one true love who's just died for a year and a day, and then she comes back to him, and he says he wants one kiss from her, and then she points out that if he had a kiss from her clay cold lips, my breath so earthy strong that just one kiss from my clay cold lips, you basically wouldn't live long. It's.
I mean, can you imagine her breath? My God.
Well, yeah, quite.
What was that?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna show you guys now the awesome website, so you guys can start seeing where you guys have to go to actually purchase amazing books and support these creators right here. This army that John put together. I mean, look at this here, right here. Look at this, Blessed Secure. What's popping here? Who are these people? How did you curate your books, guys? Talk about that. The curation of the books for people. I mean, what is there specific things you look for? How can people submit? What are the processes like? I mean, 'cause you do unique books. I've been seeing you guys even for a while, actually.
Okay. Process. You send me if it's a graphic novel, if it's going to be a longer story. What I need to see is a synopsis and outline. If the book is finished and the first few pages of the actual books, or any pages of the actual books, I have an idea of the actual storytelling ability. If it isn't quite done, then maybe or if there isn't an artist attached, I need several pages of script just to demonstrate that you're capable of writing story. And if there is an artist attached, but you haven't actually gotten any pages, then I need either, a link to their website or their portfolio, so I can have some idea of whether they're up for the job, or some artwork attached to the pitch itself, just so that I have a reasonable idea of whether it's actually going to work for me. And then I read everything I receive and try to respond. And if I've got something of yours and I haven't responded to you, I will get to it. Get off my back. And then, otherwise, there are obviously some people I've worked with before, some people who are friends, and it has worked out right. They can send me something. I've worked with Martin before. Obviously, I've worked with Mark before. So, they're a known quantity, and they both came to me with stuff. And I thought, yeah, let's do this because it looks amazing and it reads well. And that's the thing, is that doesn't just have to look good. I need it to read well. I need it to be like one of those kind of stories that stays with you. That's takeaway.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, that's kind of it.
So let me ask, how did you guys even know of me?
That pub.
What's the story of the bromance? Was it again the Magic Pub and happened to say at the same booth? Hey guys. Oh.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was early 90s.
Yeah.
I walked into the Cartoon Museum when it was in an old location in Euston, and there was a show of Dave McKean artwork for Mr. Punch, I think it was. And the guy who was curating the show at the time was Paul Gravett, the man at the crossroads who knows everybody in British comics. And I kind of talked about that I was a cartoonist, I wanted to be in comics and whatever. And he said, "Oh, there's a thing called the Comics Creators Guild, and in fact, it's on tonight," and just told me where it was. And I turned up and started. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist anymore, but it used to be every month. Some cartoonist would show up and tell you about who they were and how they got their job. Like it might be a newspaper cartoonist, or it might be Stephen Appleby or something, or in my case, Brian Talbot turned up fairly soon after I started seeing it. And so you got to know everybody, or you got to know a lot of people, and that was handy. So then you all started going to conventions and stuff together, and things like little small press things like Caption and whatever. And all these things kind of snowball. And like I say, all of British comics could basically fit into a decent sized pub, really, a good sized building. Well, they do every thought, but
yeah,
it's essentially everybody in comics in one place.
Yeah, everyone fits into that hotel, don't they? The majestic bar in that hotel.
Yeah,
everyone's in there at one point.
You guys are killing me.
Yeah,
I miss Thought Bubbles so much.
I know. Yeah.
Have you not gone? Didn't it just pass November?
Yeah.
There's kind of a one-liner about this. Is occasionally you get asked by somebody like, "How do you break into British comics?" And I always like to say, "The key's under the doormat."
It's not hard.
Basically turn up, meet people, draw comics, carry on doing the comics you draw.
Lather, repeat.
To some people. Congratulations, you're now in British comics.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And that's the thing. Like, before there used to be just the one UCAT, one convention a year, and that was like 2, sometimes 3 every weekend in Britain.
Yeah, there's a lot now.
Wow.
There's a lot more. So and so it is a very tight community, and everybody sort of knows everybody else. And we sort of, you're doing these various conventions up and down the countryside. So
and what means is you see the same people every show.
We see the same people every show, but the punters are usually local. So the people who come in and buy your stuff are from the area. And they'll go to their local one, and so you get an opportunity to sell your books to a new group of people. And it gives you the opportunity to do something. And well, not everybody is going to make a living out of it. There is an opportunity to see what's working and see what isn't, and to sell your stuff and have those conversations. And the conventions, being at these conventions and tabling, for the most part, is it's innovating. I really enjoy being there. I love talking about the titles I've got on my table, and I love seeing what other people are doing. And I love that kind of energy and that kind of synergy. That we're kind of all in this together. The sort of thing you don't get quite as much in North America, where the conventions are like several hundred miles from each other, and stupid expensive to get there. So
expensive just to go in. If you have a family, it's unaffordable. If you have a family, you're like, all right, what do I do? Not go food shopping this weekend or go to the Comic-Con. You know what? Comic-Con got to win.
They can eat later.
All right. We all share one Whopper, divided by 6, and we'll be all right.
The Whopper.
Who makes them?
I'm sorry, you guys in the UK, the Americans and their goddamn nasty food. I know. It's actually good food. Don't you guys come to the States, man? Why are you guys coming out here and doing a con in New York or Massachusetts or Rhode Island? So many shows. Even Maine has a show. It's a little bit closer. You can even swim there, to Maine. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I'd love to. Have you ever been, Mark? Have you been to America a few times, Mark?
Anyone?
Mark?
The US from the squad here?
I haven't. I've been Sweden, Korea, various European places.
Oh, you did?
Guernsey.
You haven't done New York?
I've never been to the States. No.
Oh, right. I thought you'd done New York.
No.
I thought I'd heard you say you'd done New York.
I've never done England. No.
We need to open up a GoFundMe or some shit, and we need to get Soaring, get help, and get them to get tabling at New York Comic Con. Because I need to know how to table. Since you were talking about tabling, I table, and I'm the loudmouth. I stand in front of the table. I bring attention. I have brought attention for people come to a creative table. If I'm talking, I just move to the side, stay quiet, let them look, and then I start selling them the book. Many creators owe me commission on books I've sold for them. Is what I'm talking about. All right. So how do you handle tabling? All of you guys, as creators, how do you guys handle tabling? And Martin being quiet there, listening, smiling, like, thank God Al's not picking on me. No, I'm gonna pick on you now. So how do you handle tabling? Are you a man behind the table, or do you try to get in front of the table a little bit and bring some attention? Not asking that you're twerking and shit. Just how do you bring people to your booth?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because I do twerk. In fact, I try and get on top of the table, and then jump off the table onto them and then sort of wrestle them, and then
Comic Con party, baby. That's how we get down.
No, I mean, how do I handle cons? Well, cons, that's how I met anyone and everyone. In fact, I first met Mark at a convention. There was a portfolio.
That's your bromance? Oh, talk about that bromance.
I gave a review.
That's right. There was a portfolio drop-in. You could take your portfolio. I think it was Self-Made Hero. And
Self-Made Hero.
They assigned you an artist to look through your work, and it was Mark. And he gave me wonderful advice. Which I keep ignoring. I remember the great advice I remember you giving me was you've got to do some simpler panels. You've got to do some more boring. You've got to vary the and he's right. He's completely right. Sometimes you've got to keep it simple. But
John, this just killed John there. As the publisher, why does that kill you right there? What is it about Martin and the panels that maybe Mark has something there?
He doesn't do simple. It's just incredibly dense. I mean, it's wonderful, but I can hear his voice going, "Why the fuck have I started this?" Yeah, absolutely. The next thing I'm going to do, the next thing I will do, will not be as dense as Nord. Nord was insane. It took me 4.5 years to paint Nord. That book.
4.5 years.
Wow. That's right, Al.
Yeah.
Al, I had a full head of hair when I started that book.
Oh shit!
Well, I didn't realize.
But I'm about to say, by the end of the book, when you submit it, I was like, "Who is this guy? Where's Martin?"
Yeah, it took a long time. But once I'd started down a certain path with that particular book, a lot of Nordic art is all this intricate patterns and interlaced things, and I wanted that in the book. I thought that was really important that it had that in it. And of course, once I started down that path, then that's it. You can't just suddenly start cutting corners here and there. So yeah, it took way longer than I ever imagined it was going to take. The next thing, I'm going to listen to Mark for the next thing I do, and I will do some simple panels. I promise.
That having been said, it's a sumptuous book. Every panel, every page is stunning. So
thank you.
Thanks. Go see the book. But I mean, it took you 4.5 years, Mark. How far back do the stories in Salmonella Smorgasbord go? Because I recognize one of them from the original series of Meanwhile. That was 1998.
I think there's a couple there from Botulism Banquet that I couldn't let go. So there's about 3 really old pages.
Fucking name, bro.
That I thought I could rejig that, but that from the late 90s. But most of them are kind of from the last 15 years, I think. Yeah.
So 15 years.
Whatever next collection's going to be.
You guys offer a lot of
fun
stuff, man. You guys offer everything, man. Check it out: contemporary, historical, horror, LGBT, science fiction. I mean, look at this.
I want to expand that list. I need more stuff.
So I see that this is in pounds, right? Or whatever, right? Please forgive me. I'm American. Like I use dollars, kiddo. So what does that translate to in dollars? I mean, if you do you ship to the States?
We ship to the States, but we're shipping from the UK, so it's going to be plus a
plus
bit
the
of money
boat fee. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it cost me a cruise. It's $17.95 plus $200 for shipping.
Okay, yeah, but the one you're looking at there is a multi-pack. That's a multi-pack of the res. So you're getting, I think, 10 copies in the multi-pack. So
what do you mean? That's like a retailer copy?
Yeah, it's for schools and that sort of thing. So you buy a package, and it's a mental health comic book that we did. The second issue will be out shortly. So if you want to buy a bunch of them.
I love this. Look at you guys tackling, serious subjects through comics. Love that mental health. So, what can you tell me about this book right here?
Well, it's related to it. There's a podcast. I can give you the link, but not immediately. And it's about a girl in school who gets stuck into social media and likes and being voted up and voted down and everything else, and she gets all very she attributes too much of her own self-worth in how she's perceived by social media.
Okay.
So she's continually trying to chase more and there are other elements as well. There's the villain who's actually attached to the app that she's using. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a terrific little book. There's a podcast this is supported by, and we did this book I think the year before, and the second the Res Part 2 is now out or will be out shortly. So you can buy a single copy, or you can buy, if you think it's the sort of thing that'd be suitable for your organization, suitable for your class, your school. You can buy a pack of 10 of them to let people, to give to the kids, and that's The Bad Place. That was that's a horror story by Mr. Stafford and David Hine.
What size is the book? What type of size is that?
Oh, I did that.
Yeah, you did that. You recognize it. It's 165 by 235 millimeters. I have no idea what that is. I think 6.5 by 9.25.
I have it here.
Wait a minute.
Hey!
Wait, you keep it up right there. There we go. Let me see that. Okay.
Yeah, that's one.
I happen to have it on my table.
Look at that. Put it sideways. Let's see how thick it is. That's what she said, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's a nice hardback. It's a hardback.
Hardback. Knock on that, baby. Ooh, look at that. Wepa, look at that. It's made out of wood, people.
It's a hardback.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book. We did well with that one. Yeah.
I love it.
Serialized in our anthology title. Meanwhile, what I want to do is I want to demonstrate how we can grow a graphic novel by doing a chapter every issue. And these guys were amazing. David and Mark Stafford, they put together a terrific little story. We did 10 pages every issue of Meanwhile, and then wrapped it up and published the thing.
And look, folks, you could go to the website. It's available on digital. You can gift this to your favorite nerd. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Geek in your life. Give them something new. Listen.
It's a really creepy little story.
Yeah. That's what they want. Give it to the horror fan in your life. There's the type of stuff we want as geeks. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah, that goes to some very dark places. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You won't believe.
I blame Dave Hine.
Yeah.
And I love it. You say that, and then I pull up a call that says "Meanwhile."
Meanwhile. Sure. That's our anthology title. So it's we're currently looking at 136 pages. some ongoing stuff.
Ooh.
Most of it is self-contained, so you pick up any particular volume and you can get a really satisfying read. I like me a chunky anthology. What I love about it, I mean, not everybody has like an entire graphic novel in them, so we wanted to have a place where if they have a shorter story, if they're an artist who wants to experiment with a slightly different style, there's a place for them to tell a story and a place for it to be published. So I more or less curate every issue. We've got issue 12 is almost in the bag, and we've got stories for issue 13, and we're just going to keep going from strength to strength.
And Mark is all over those bad boys too. I see in the early years.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's where we serialized the Bad Place. Was in Meanwhile.
Yeah.
And then you have other team members here doing some historical goodies.
Yeah.
Look at this. Ooh, I like this. I like these. I love when you do this, like white. For me, I call it the widescreen format in books. I love this. I mean, it's difficult to shelve. It's not easy to shelf porn. Yeah. This is more coffee table than shelf porn. This is coffee table porn. But
Yeah, coffee table porn.
Yeah, because you can't put that on the stuff.
Yeah.
But what about talk about them parties, kiddo? You got everything. Look at this. You guys have some fun stuff. What's this Blessed Cure with Mario Cesar? Okay. Get Mario Cesar, didn't we?
Blessed Cure is about conversion therapy and growing up gay in Brazil.
Okay.
It's not an easy book, but I think it's an essential book. We just finished running a campaign for this on Crowdfunder. It didn't do quite as well, but we're publishing it anyway because I think it's an important book to have out there. It just goes places, and it's heartbreaking.
What is this? What the heck? Don't tell me this is some real shit based on something real.
It's some real shit based on something real. Brazil is a very religious country, and even though it's illegal, they still promote the practice of conversion therapy. That they feel that there are various practices, various psychological, various medical practices that they hope will make you not gay.
So they put in blinders? Those are blinders?
Well, that's more allegoric, but there are some genuine things going on in that book that still practice.
What the fuck is going on? The world is a crazy place.
Yeah.
So anyway,
let people live. How anyone lives affect you? That's what I'm just saying. You know, do they pay your bills? What do you give a fuck? Just shut up. Mind your business. You know what I mean? That's how I look at everything. Just shut up, mind your business. If it don't affect your bills, why the fuck you talking about it? That's just me. I don't know. I live and let live, man. Please. We have enough real problems. Everybody wants to be distracted from the real problems. I'm not stupid, and I hope no one else is either. And what's this calendar about? This is what, a drop schedule? You guys got to start using it. We need to know when we're going to pick up our books. So, all right, so check this out.
I get it before that. As I get things, there's a carousel just a little bit further down. We've got a couple of shows coming up. We had a few shows previously. We're doing. I'm doing Fanex in I think February in Vancouver.
You are? Hey, nice.
It's local.
Wait, you're gonna go as the booth, or with the booth, or as a fan?
I get a table.
Oh, hey!
I'm tabling at Fanex, my second time.
You better be in front of that table, calling people over to see the greatness of the company. If I wish I was a cat, you would be like, "Oh my God, what is wrong with you?" But I bet you I saw you out that table in a day, in hours. You're gonna have to pack up for the weekend and be like, "I'm done."
It was very good. This year's was very good, so I'm hoping that the next year will be as good. We've also got Vancouver Comics Arts Festival in May, and there's I think a couple of other shows I'll be doing as well. So
okay,
starting slow, starting local.
You say you do ship to the States, but it'll be expensive. But you're out there in the UK, it'll make your life a lot easier. As my boy John, you gotta talk to my boy Johnny from outside the panels. He's in the UK, and he loves going to Thought Bubble too, because we know the crew that runs Thought Bubble. Much love to them, and happy that they had yet another great show. It's what they do. I can't wait to one day actually participate and go visit. Mega hits London. So I got to make a post looking like Godzilla all over London right there.
Yeah, we should start another GoFundMe so get you over to the UK for Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
I would love to. Let me tell you, I would love to hang out with you guys. Take me to your magic pub, please. I want to go to the magic pub.
Absolutely.
I swear to God, every time I hear this shit, I'm like, are you fucking serious? They like, or do these guys talk to each other? Make sure you fuck with Al and say that this is magic pub somewhere. He thinks that exists. Just keep fucking with him.
I'm slightly exaggerating in that it's not one magic pub. It's a series of magic pubs.
Series. I'm sure you got to go bar hop because one probably closed later than the other, so you got to do what you do. Hey, salud, my amigos. Yeah. All right. So, are you two guys, Mark and Martin, making any appearances anywhere as well? Because John looking like he busy up in Canada. So, what's you popping off to?
Where are you going, Mark?
As much as I can next year. I mean, I'll take anything I'm off. Well, hopefully, the lakes. Hopefully, Thought Bubble. Hopefully, any little tiny convention, anything where the Cartoon Museum will be up on the table.
Yeah,
the Cartoon Museum. Shout out! Thank you for employing Mark.
If you can call that employment. Yeah, anywhere and everywhere.
Of that hustle, man. You're one of that. You're on the hustle, status. So that's what it is, man. I respect that. You do what you do, bro. But you get it done, don't you? So don't let them know, Playboy. Look at this. This guy be rocking it. Don't be sleeping on Mark.
Well, Mark, you did the London. Was it the LCC?
Oh yeah, definitely the LCCs because we got freebie tables.
I'm you do. Yeah, you better go. Yeah, man. Yeah, we gotta visit you at a booth when one of my boys is there and have an on-site interview. That'll be fun. And you show your wares, and I mean the books, not anything else.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I understand.
And what about you, Martin? Where are you appearing?
It's similar. I'll definitely do Thought Bubble if they let me in. I'll definitely do the Lakes. I love the Lakes. The Lakes Festival is a good shout out, actually, Al, as well. It's a really nice festival. It gets some great guests, and it's just got that. Really is like everyone in quite a small place, isn't it? Like all of comics in a way, in a much smaller place. And it feels like you can really, you might really speak to someone like amazing and famous as well, and at the bar or something. I'm also going to try and do, because Nord is basically coming out next year. I want to try and do as many cons as I can. I don't make a huge amount of appearances. I mean, this is my first book. This is my first full-length book. So I do want to do the MCM London, which I've done once before. And I'm going to try and do some other cons as well. I hear that there's one in Hull, actually, that is meant to be getting pretty good, letting a lot of comic people in. It's only a one-dayer as well.
That's not so bad.
Not so bad. And maybe some others as well. I mean, I feel like I should try and take this book on the road after painting it. For
Everybody was singing the praises of Winchester a couple of weeks back.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Winchester.
But who knows?
I'm writing that down.
All the cathedral towns.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. But I mean, really, I suppose is Thought Bubble the absolutely essential one? Do you reckon that's the one that you sort of have to try and do? I suppose is it?
I guess it's one more of the industry turns up at. The reason I like the Lakes is it's more of an international festival, so your chances of bumping into like an interesting Belgian guy or South American guy or some Chinese cartoonist or whatever, and getting some weird opportunity like that. Those are.
Yes, and it's a lot more relaxed, and it seems to be centered around hubs for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, Lakes is a relaxicon. You show up and
don't you love technology? Yeah, internet is a wonderful thing.
You're back. Sorry,
welcome.
You didn't go for long.
I know you guys were rocking it, and you kept doing it and talking your thing with wonderful. Thank you. I wish I was out there and able to see you guys make appearances. Hopefully, one day I will be able to do that.
One day. Yeah, that'd be cool. Good picture.
Vande, I'm gonna start singing.
Oh.
All right, let me start singing, fellas.
Ooh, it's right in the middle. Don't move, Mark. Don't move. It was right in the middle.
Oh, right there. Right, he looks like he has a unibrow, looking like Bert, right, from the Sesame Street.
It's like a third eye. It's the third eye. Like Doctor Strange.
Man, Mark is actually Doctor Strange, right? Exactly. Mark Strange.
I'm putting one on my camera.
No, we can't use that. We can't use that. We can't use Strange, so we could call him Mark Weirdo.
Yeah.
That's the counter. Right?
Just a change. I mean, this is my life.
I thought we were calling him Spot.
Let's get it done. Yeah. So, all right, folks. This is what I need you guys to do. I need you to visit this wonderful website. The link is also below, all in the notes. So make sure to click away, like George Jackson. Your thumbs up, your fingers are gonna be sore. There's a lot of links. You gotta follow Mark everywhere. You gotta follow Martin everywhere. You gotta follow, John and Soaring. He don't care about. John said, I don't care about sharing my name. You gotta understand. I am Soaring Penguin
Press. That's pathetic. I'm gonna put these down there.
Wrong.
Love it, man. I love it, man. It's all right, bro. We got the guns, baby. We got the guns. It's all right. We're comic geeks. The heaviest thing we lift is a comic book box. Come on, man. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
They can be quite heavy.
Yeah, they can be.
But the long boxes, I guarantee. Yeah, because my boy gave me a long box of graphic novels. Let me tell you, that was backbreaking for a flight of stairs. So oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't do this anymore.
What? That's the first
Where are my minions?
Down there. Yeah. Minions.
Where are my minions to carry this box? Motherfuckers were out there. All right. No, but I appreciate you guys. So please visit the website. All the social medias. Also, if you see that dope little penguin, you know what it is. All right. It's fire.
Yeah.
Show the love. Go visit Mark everywhere as well. Mark with X.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep, it's everywhere.
Facebook.
Big Boss. The links are below. Just click away again. Click away. Move them fingers. Click. All right. I'm Martin. Right there too with Facebook and the Twitter. All right. Yep. Show the love for real. These are amazing independent creators with an amazing independent press. Dope comic books. Great stuff. It's the holidays. So out there, if you're in the UK and watching. Listen, easy shipping right there in town. Stocking stuffer. I know y'all believe in some type of Santa Claus or something. All right, or Krampus, whatever it is that you guys are into.
Good point.
I mean, I'm doing my thing over here and showing love because, again, this is what it is. Flower time, yo. Saludos, mucho amor. Our love to you guys, for doing what you guys do, sharing and your vision and your creativity. With us, because as a comic book fan, I really appreciate what you do. It's very brave of you because a lot of guys, people talk so much shit, but are you able to do what these guys do? No, you're not. This is why they do it, and you don't. So stop being a hater. All right, much love to that. Support is independent, It's real business right here. These are rock and roll superstars you seeing right here doing their thing in the UK. That punk shit right there with the Soaring Penguin Press, son. All right. And of course, what Comic Crusaders is too. We rock out. Show the love over here. Follow everywhere. Follow my extended family over undercovercapes.com. My boy Johnny from the UK with Outside the Panels. Check out my boy Paul's Independent Comic Press too. ASAP Imagination out in the UK. We have people out there. We got our boy Chris Germany doing books. They've out here in the UK too. I mean, we spread the love. Comic Crusaders is everywhere, baby. We're worldwide. And wait till 2023, kiddo. We've been every continent. Better watch out. We're taking over. All right? Just like Soaring Penguin Presses. They're about to take over. Don't sleep. I'm telling you. You saw that beautiful art. That's art. Guys, please. You got to get your books here more in the States. And, again, retailers. I'm going to show you just one more time. Because I really love the book and the art. Look, that's right there. Visit the website. John will reply to you and let you know what the deal is. You know what I mean? How much paper you need to get these beautiful books on your shelves, the shelf porn that collectors want. And right here, if you're in New York, I think a New York shop, This you need to put this on yourself. I guarantee this will like fly off the shelves in New York, just based on the cover art for all those books you guys got, because it's some fly stuff for real. I dig it. All right.
I bloody hope so.
Yeah, Comic Crusaders recommends for real. I really mean that. And with that, I'm Omega with the amazing team over at Soaring Penguin Press, Mr. John Anderson, Mark Stafford, Martin Simpson. That's the big whip all the way from the UK, Canada, and I'm Omega all the way from New York. Later. Woo!
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.